Hare Krishna. Okay, so this morning we had our philosophical class on Lord Nityananda. So tonight I thought we'd just read from the Chaitanya Bhagavat about, well, this chapter is about Lord Nityananda specifically. So I'll just read and maybe comment on certain points. All glories to Sri Nityananda, all glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is an ocean of mercy. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is the friend of those who are ignorant of the goal of life. All glories to He who is the life, wealth, and soul of Sri Advaita Chandra. All glories to He who is the shelter of Srivas and Gadadhar. All glories to Lord Vishwambar, the son of Sachi and Jagannath. All glories to the devotees who are the beloved associates of the Lord. On the order of Lord Chaitanya, Sri Anantadev had already appeared in Radhadesh and was engaged in various pastimes. Sri Anantadev, the appearing is actually Lord Nityananda. So his father, Lord Nityananda's father, was Padai Ojha, and his mother was Padmavati. Sri Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village of Ekachakra as the Lord of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. From his childhood, Lord Nityananda was sober, intelligent, and the abode of all good qualities. His charming loveliness defeated that of millions of cupids. Can you imagine? Millions of cupids. He was so kind and easy. The entire district of Radhadesh was filled with auspiciousness and devoid of famine and poverty from the time of his birth. Just imagine the situation. Imagine some personality takes birth in a town, and all of a sudden everything becomes so auspicious, and no poverty, no famine, no problems at all, because Lord Nityananda had appeared in that town. The day that Lord Gaurachandra appeared in Navadvip in Radhadesh, Lord Nityananda roared loudly. His roar spread throughout innumerable universes, and people of the entire world were practically rendered unconscious. You see what's happening? Lord Nityananda is in one place, and Lord Chaitanya, he knows that Lord Chaitanya is appearing in another place, and he's in his ecstasy and happiness, he's roaring, he's so happy. So, and then that sound was being heard all over the universe. Some people said it was a thunderbolt, while others thought it was a great calamity. Other people said, we know the cause. It was a loud roaring of Nityananda Goswami, the Lord of the Gaudiyas. Nityananda remained hidden. And in this way, people had different opinions about what had happened, but no one could recognize Lord Nityananda due to the influence of his illusory energy. Nityananda remained hidden as he enjoyed childhood pastimes with the other children. So Lord Nityananda is just a child at this point. The pastimes of the Lord enjoyed with his childhood friends were all related to the activities of Lord Krishna. One evening, the Lord and his friends enacted the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki. So Lord Nityananda and his friend, his children play. So, but when Lord Nityananda is playing, was actually acting out the pastimes of Lord Krishna. So that was it. That was his enjoyment. So here he and his friends were enacting the marriage of Vasudeva and Devaki. Then, late one night, while everyone slept, they made a prison and enacted the birth of Lord Krishna. They created a Gokula, and Krishna was taken there and exchanged with Mahamaya, thereby tricking King Kamsa. Another time they dressed someone as Putana, and someone climbed on her chest to suck her breast. Anyone know who Putana was? Anyone know who Putana was? No? Krishna's pastimes. One demoness named Putana. She came, disguised herself as a very wonderful, beautiful lady, and she offered to. She was so attractive that she asked, "Oh, can I hold this young child, Krishna?" This is 5,000 years ago. So, can I hold this young child? He's so wonderful. But her intention was to kill him. So immediately when she got a hold of him, then she took on her real form, which was like a gigantic. It was. I think she said it was. I think she expanded to like 12 miles long or something. She was huge, and she attempted to kill him because he was just a little baby, to suck her breast which had poison on it, because she was thinking she was going to kill him, but he actually killed her. So anyway, they're acting out this pastime. So another time they dressed someone as Putana, and someone climbed on her chest to suck her breast. One day, Nityananda and his boyfriends made a shakata, or handcart, out of reeds, and then broke it. This was another pastime of Krishna, where another demon was hiding and was going to kill Krishna. So they're performing these pastimes. Another day, the Lord and his friends stole from the houses of the neighboring cowherdmen. That was one of Krishna's pastimes. It was going and stealing butter and ghee and yogurt from the houses of the neighboring ladies and feeding it to the monkeys. But so that Lord Nityananda and his friends, they enacted all these different pastimes of Krishna. The boys never left Nityananda's association to go home, but continued sporting with him day and night. The children's parents did not complain. Rather, they would affectionately embrace Nityananda. They said, "We have never seen such transcendental sports. How does this child know so many of Krishna's pastimes?" Imagine some young child, and all of a sudden they know, all of Krishna's pastimes without being told about those pastimes. Of course, because he was actually there, and he's actually the Supreme Lord himself. So he was actually. He knew all these pastimes. One day, the Lord made snakes out of leaves, and then took his friends to the water. One of them jumped into the water and remained there inert, didn't move. Later, the Lord brought him back to consciousness. This was the pastime of Kaliya serpent. They were enacting. So they make believe snake out of reeds and plant life, and then somebody's playing the part. And when the Kaliya serpent was there and someone got near the water because he had poisoned the water, then they would just die. But Krishna came and he brought everyone back to to consciousness, brought back to life. So the boys are playing out these pastimes. And Lord Nityananda, he was directing everything. So he would say, okay, you act like this, you act like this, you play this way, you play that way. This was his. So he was like their leader. Another day, the Lord and his friends went to Talavan, where they killed Dhenukasura, and then ate the Talapus, another demon that Krishna killed. And in the afternoon, the Lord and his associates returned home, blowing buffalo horns. One day they enjoyed the pastimes of lifting Govardhan Hill, and another day they created a Vrindavan, where they enjoyed various sports. One day they enacted Krishna's pastime of stealing the gopis' clothes, and another day they enacted his meeting the wives of the brahmanas. These are pastimes of Krishna. One time Krishna and his friends, they were out, herding the cows, because there was a cow herd community, and Krishna and his friends, they suddenly felt very hungry. We were so hungry, Krishna. We need to eat now. So Krishna said, "Okay, go to the house over there. There's some brahmanas performing sacrifices, and of course, when you perform sacrifice, then there's prasadam afterwards." So they went there and said, "Krishna and Balaram have sent us here. We were hungry. Please give us some prasadam, right? Please give us some prasadam." But the brahmanas were thinking, no, why should we give this to them? We're still performing the sacrifice. These boys just go away, leave us alone. But so the boys came back. They told Krishna, and then Krishna sent them to get back again. Don't go to the brahmanas, but go to their wives. And the wives happened to all actually be devotees of Krishna. The brahmanas were more into rituals, but not really devotees of Krishna. So the wives, when they heard that Krishna asked, when the boys asked, "We are hungry, Krishna is hungry, please give us some prasadam," they gave him so much, and they brought them back. So Lord Nityananda here they're enacting those pastimes. On one occasion, a boy dressed as Narada with a beard and gave Kamsa some confidential information. Another day, one boy dressed as Akrura and took Krishna and Balaram to Kamsa's capital. Akrura was he had the duty. He was working for Kamsa, because Kamsa sent him to go and bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, and where Kamsa actually planned to kill them in some way. So Akrura was and Akrura was not. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were not very pleased with Akrura because they couldn't tolerate not seeing Krishna for a moment. And here he was actually taking him out of Vrindavan. So Krishna and Balaram went there, and they actually killed the demon king Kamsa. Anyway, Lord Nityananda and his childhood friends are enacting these plays. And again, nobody taught them, so everyone's very amazed at how they're performing all these wonderful, enacting all these pastimes in this way. When everyone says, "Where do they learn all these things?" Especially Nityananda, because he was the one who was saying, "Here's what you do. Here's how we act this out." As Nityananda cried in the mood of the gopis, it appeared to his friends that a river was flowing from his eyes. So, due to the influence of Vishnu's illusory energy, no one could recognize Nityananda as he enjoyed pastimes with his friends. So they're very, nobody can understand that he hears that Nityananda, he's actually Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone loved him. Everyone was so amazed about whatever he did, but they couldn't figure out this is actually God. This is actually an incarnation of God. Someone dressed as Kubja and sandalwood pulp was accepted from her. A large bow was made, and they all shouted in joy when it was broken. They enacted the pastimes of killing the Kubalaya elephant and the wrestlers Chanura and Mushtika. Thereafter, Krishna was grabbed by the hair and thrown to the ground. So they're enacting the time when Krishna and Balaram were in Mathura, and they fought with these huge wrestlers. The huge wrestlers were intended to, they're requested to, you fight with these two big wrestlers. And Krishna and Balaram were not, they didn't appear to be very strong. They're young boys. They were just, how old? 16, I guess, at that point. So they were there, but anyway, we were talking about Lord Nityananda. So the Lord Nityananda and his friends, they enacted this, acting as pretending they're some of the wrestlers, and Krishna was, and then Kamsa, who was ultimately thrown to the ground and ultimately was killed, and the elephant, a gigantic elephant named Kubalaya. That was also part of the plan for that elephant to stomp on Krishna and Balaram, but of course he could not do that. So these are wonderful pastimes that the Lord Nityananda and his friends were all acting out. After killing Kamsa, the Lord danced with his friends in such a way that everyone watching began to laugh. In this way, Nityananda and his friends imitated the pastimes of various incarnations. So it's not just Krishna appearing, but other incarnations. We mentioned also the breaking the bow, which was the pastime of Lord Ramachandra. So they enacted all these different pastimes. One day, Nityananda dressed like Vamana, the dwarf. That's also an incarnation, Lord Vamanadev, and went to cheat Bali Maharaj out of his kingdom, which covered the three worlds. There are several chapters of that in Srimad Bhagavatam about Vamanadev and Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj actually had control of the entire universe. Can you imagine somebody being in control of one country? But he actually was not even one country, not even one planet. It was actually the entire universe, the upper planets, lower planets. So Bali Maharaj was like that. And in Vamanadev, incarnation of the Lord, he tricked Bali Maharaj by asking for charity and asking for just 3 steps of land. And that's 3 steps of land. You think Vamanadev was appearing as a dwarf. He's a very small person. So 3 steps of land was maybe how far? 3 or 4. We can take 2 steps. Maybe 6 feet this way, 6 feet that way. So Bali Maharaj was not concerned about that. Okay, I'll give you 3 steps of land. But Vamanadev, he said, okay, and then he took his first step, covered the whole world, second step covered the whole universe, and the third step, he's saying, okay, you promised me 3 steps of land, I've covered everything, now what? So Bali Maharaj says, oh, so now you put your 3rd step on my head, and I surrender to you, I accept you, I understand you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyway, that was that pastime. And so Lord Nityananda and his friends played these pastimes out. Someone played the role of the aged Shukracharya who forbade Bali from giving the 3 steps. After accepting the gift, the Lord placed his last step on the head of Bali. Okay, that was what I just said. One day, Nityananda enacted the pastime of building a bridge across the ocean, with the boys playing the role of monkeys. This is Lord Ramachandra's pastimes. So there are all these pastimes. They cut castor oil plants and made a bridge across the water. Then all the boys exclaimed, "Jai Raghunath." Raghunath is the name of Lord Ramachandra. So they didn't just put on a play. They became completely absorbed in these pastimes. Completely absorbed. Nityananda accepted the role of Lakshman, who angrily went with a bow in his hand to chastise Sugriva. "O king of the monkeys, my lord is in distress. Come quickly, or I will kill you. How can you sit here enjoying with women while he is lamenting on Malyavan mountain?" Another day, Lord Nityananda spoke in anger to Parashuram. "O Brahmana, I am not at fault. Leave here at once." Lord Nityananda was absorbed in the mood of Lakshman. The boys, however, could not understand this and thought it was just a game. So again, this is Lord Nityananda. He's not just acting. He's completely. Lord Nityananda is completely absorbed, seeing himself. Actually, he was. Actually, Lakshman. He's not different from Lakshman. In fact, Lord Lakshman and Lord Ramachandra are pastimes. So he completely fell into that mood, and we'll see what happens. Now, on another. "Who are you monkeys wandering in the forest? I am the servant of Ramachandra. Tell me who you are." They replied, "We are wandering out of fear of Bali. Please take us to Ramachandra. We wish to take the dust of his lotus feet." The Lord embraced them and led them to Ramachandra, whereupon they all fell at his feet. One day the Lord enacted the pastime of killing Indrajit, the son of Ravana, and one day in the mood of Lakshman, he accepted defeat. Someone in the role of Vibhishana was brought before Ramachandra, and Rama performed his abhishek, or coronation, installing him as the king of Lanka. In the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, after Ravana was killed, then of course Lanka was without a king, so the new king was Vibhishana, right? So the boys are enacting all these pastimes in so much detail with great pleasure, and they're not performing all these pastimes just it's not a show, it's not a theater. It's just this is their childhood games. In modern times, I don't know what the children play and these days, but Lord Nityananda and his friends, his associates, their happiness was playing together and thinking about and glorifying and enacting Lord Krishna's pastimes in his various incarnations. One boy said, I am the mighty Ravana. Now I'm releasing the Shakti Shaila weapon. Stop it if you can, Lakshman." Saying this, the boy threw a lotus flower at Nityananda, and in the mood of Lakshman, he fell to the ground. After the Lord, in the mood of Lakshman, fell unconscious, all the boys tried in vain to revive him. When they found that no symptoms of life remained in the body of Nityananda, they all held their heads and began to cry. Now, let me just read through and I'll explain it. The Lord's father and mother came running there and also observed that there was no sign of life in their son. Then they also fell to the ground, unconscious. Everyone who saw this tragedy was struck with wonder. As the boys described the entire incident, someone said, "I understand why he's unconscious." Previously, one actor, he's explaining why, played the role of Dasharatha, and he heard, who was the father of Ramachandra. He heard that Rama had left for the forest. When he did that, he left his body and he died. So they're saying that some actor acting out you can so absorbed in acting out a particular part that because they're so absorbed in it, when the actor Ramachandra had left had gone away, he couldn't tolerate it and he actually died. So they're suggesting that Lakshman this is the same thing was happening. Someone else said, "There is a boy dressed as Hanuman. If he gives him medicine, he'll be cured." Before the incident, the Lord had instructed his friends, "When I fall unconscious, you should all gather around me and cry." Okay, this is all planned ahead of time. "After a while, send Hanuman for some medicine. I will recover when he puts the medicine to my nose." When the Lord fell unconscious in his own mood, the boys were all bewildered. Because they're so confused, they could not remember the Lord's instructions. They simply cried loudly, "Oh, brother, please get up." But when the boys heard the people's comments, they remembered Nityananda's instruction, and the boy dressed as Hanuman immediately went for the medicine. Another boy dressed as a renunciate welcomed Hanuman with fruits and roots. He said to Hanuman, "My dear sir, please stay and grace my ashram. It is a great fortune to meet you and meet such a person as you." The Hanuman replied, "I must go and complete my important mission. I would like to come, but I cannot delay." You must have heard of Lakshman, the younger brother of Ramachandra, has been rendered unconscious by the Shakti Shala weapon of Ravana. Therefore, I'm going to Gandhamadana Hill to bring medicine. Only then will he survive. Very detailed enacting of these pastimes. The renunciate then said, "If you must go, first take a bath and eat something. Then you must go." The boys repeated whatever Nityananda has instructed them. Therefore, everyone gazed at them in astonishment as they listened to their conversation. Then, on the request of the renunciate, Hanuman went to take bath in the lake, whereupon another boy in the lake grabbed hold of his feet. The boy, playing the role of a crocodile, tried to pull Hanuman into the water, but Hanuman pulled the boy to the shore. After a short fight, Hanuman defeated the crocodile. When Hanuman returned to the renunciate's ashram, he saw a mighty warrior. Dressed as a Rakshasa, that boy rushed at Hanuman with the intention of eating him. Very interesting play. He challenged, you have defeated the crocodile, but how will you defeat me? I will eat you. Then who will revive Lakshman? Hanuman replied, Your Ravana is a dog. I consider him the most insignificant. Get out of my way. In this way, the two first exchanged some harsh words, and then they pulling each other's hair. The friends playing now. And finally, they began striking each other with their fists. After promptly defeating the demon, Hanuman approached Gandhamadana hill. There Hanuman fought with some boys who were dressed as Gandharvas. After defeating them, Hanuman took the Gandhamana hill on his head to Lanka. Hanuman, in the actual original pastime, he didn't know exactly which plant he was supposed to bring back as the medicine to revive Lakshman. So he just took the whole hill. Hanuman was very big and strong, so he just picked up the whole hill and brought it back. But the boys are enacting these pastimes. And another boy playing the role of a doctor remembered Lord Rama as he held the medicine to Lakshman's nose. At that very moment, Lord Nityananda regained his consciousness, upon which his parents and others were all smiled in relief. They embraced their son, and they're very happy. Anyway, there's more, but the class is only supposed to go to 7:30. So now is Prasadam time? Okay, so we'll stop here for now. Prasadam is being served in the other building, and if you like to come back, there's another artik at 8:15. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
Just a short announcement and clarification. Today and yesterday was very busy days especially for Dharma Prabhu and Mantramurti. They are running many things, of course, with help, helping any devotees to give a thanks to all of them. Especially today, the Bharat family, they not only sponsor the whole feast, they also cook themselves. And they are very nice, of course, it's Lord Nityananda to be merciful with them. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you.